My grandson's boss mocked me in Mandarin at dinner. The table went quiet when the wine glass shattered. Not loudly, just a clean crack, a spiderweb of glass spreading beneath my fingers. I hadn't meant to squeeze it. Across from me, my grandson's boss smiled politely, teeth perfect, eyes empty. He switched back to English without missing a beat. "So," he said warmly, "how long have you been doing maintenance work?" Maintenance. The word lingered like mildew. Inside my head, his other voice still echoed. Mandarin, smooth, casual, cruel. This old maintenance man probably can't even use a smartphone. So pathetic. Makes $40K to push a mop. He had said it while smiling at me, while raising his glass, while pretending respect. My grandson Daniel sat beside him, laughing too hard, too eager. He didn't hear it, or pretended not to. I lowered my bleeding hand beneath the table, let the glass bite deeper. Pain helped me focus. The boss, Victor, continued, tone light. "Daniel tells me you're very hardworking. Hardworking." Another translation. Another lie. I nodded slowly, counted my breath. 1, 2. Then Victor leaned toward Daniel and said something else in Mandarin. Quieter, sharper. "We'll promote him soon, once your grandfather's pension clears. He won't need it where he's going." My ears rang. Not from the glass, from the implication. I looked at my grandson, the boy I helped raise, the child whose homework I checked under flickering kitchen. Lights after 12-hour shifts. Daniel wouldn't meet my eyes. That was when I understood. This dinner wasn't about celebrating his new job. It was about replacing me. I smiled through dessert. That's the part people misunderstand about men like me. They think silence means ignorance, that age dulls comprehension, that a janitor's hands can't hold sharp thoughts. I let Victor talk, let Daniel nod, let the lies stack neatly between us like folded napkins. Inside, something old and disciplined woke up. At home that night, I washed the blood from my palm, dried it carefully, wrapped it. Precision matters. Daniel didn't come with me. Said he had drinks with Victor, networking. I sat alone in my apartment, small, clean, paid off, and replayed the dinner in my head. The Mandarin, the pauses, the way Victor watched Daniel for approval. This wasn't just mockery, it was coordination. I opened my phone, the one Victor assumed. I couldn't use, and scrolled through messages. Daniel had helped me set up years ago. He'd forgotten I was still on the family plan. Forgotten the shared cloud storage. Forgotten the late nights I spent reading manuals, learning systems, because I hated not understanding how things worked. I found emails first, not addressed to me, but about me. Victor's company handled facility, transitions, corporate, language, bloodless. They specialized in outsourcing, downsizing, eliminating redundancy. My job. Then I found a document attached to an email between Victor and Daniel. A spreadsheet. My name, my age, my pension value, projected savings. Daniel's comment sat at the bottom. Once he retires early, I'll finally be free. He's held me back long enough. I stared at that line for a long time. Free? From what? From obligation? From gratitude? From me? Shock is loud at first. Then it becomes quiet, efficient. I didn't cry. Didn't rage. I closed the laptop and made tea. Some betrayals don't break you. They sharpen you. I didn't confront Daniel. That would have been sloppy. Instead, I watched. At breakfast, when he finally came by, I asked about his job. Listened more than I spoke. Let him lie comfortably. He told me Victor was like family. I smiled. I began documenting everything. Phone records, calendar invites, expense reports Daniel left open on his tablet when he visited. I learned Victor wasn't just his boss. He was his partner, not romantically, strategically. Victor needed someone inside the labor structure, someone with access to legacy employees, someone who could soften exits. Daniel needed money, prestige, distance, from the old man who reminded him of who paid the bills before the success. They were planning a restructuring. My pension was the keystone. If I retired early, others would follow. Fear is contagious. So I checked my pension records, found discrepancies, transfers pending, illegal ones. I made calls, quiet ones, old contacts, former coworkers who owed me favors, a retired auditor who remembered how thorough I was when no one was watching. Every night I returned home and cleaned floors that weren't mine. The irony tasted bitter. Victor's voice replayed in my head sometimes. So pathetic. I wondered how pathetic he'd feel when he realized I understood every word. Weeks passed. The evidence grew heavier. Then the auditor called. "You're being stripped," he said simply. Not legally, but cleverly. If you sign what they're sending next week, you'll lose everything. I thanked him. That night, Daniel invited me to dinner again. Victor would be there. They wanted my signature. I arrived early, sat at the same table, ordered water. When Victor came in, he looked surprised. A flicker. Then the smile returned. Daniel followed, tense. They slid the papers toward me after appetizers. Victor spoke slowly, carefully, like to a child. "This will secure your future," he said. I flipped through the pages without reading. Then I looked up. In Mandarin. "You should have encrypted the file names," I said softly. The spreadsheet was sloppy. Victor froze. The smile cracked. Daniel went pale. I continued, still calm. "Also, the pension transfer violates 3 labor statutes." I highlighted them. I tapped the folder I'd brought and read. Silence. Victor swallowed. You speak? "I understand everything," I said, "including what you said about me. At dinner, with the wine glass." Daniel stared at the table. I slid another document across. Copies, emails, call logs. Victor's hands shook as he read. Daniel whispered my name. I didn't look at him. Victor's voice broke. "We can fix this." "No," I said. "You can't." I stood, not abruptly, deliberately. "I forwarded everything," I said, "to your board. And the Labor Commission, this morning." Victor slumped back, deflated. I turned to Daniel then. "Finally, you wanted to be free," I said. "You are." I handed him a single envelope. Inside was my resignation, effective immediately, and a notice. I was filing charges, not for myself, for the others. His mouth opened, closed. I leaned in close enough for only him to hear. "I didn't hold you back," I said. "I held you up." Then I walked out. I didn't look back. Outside, the night air was cool, clean. I felt lighter. Not relieved, clear. They would scramble now, lawyers, apologies, offers. None of it mattered. Some losses are necessary. At home, I removed the bandage from my hand. The cut had healed enough. Scars remind us where we survived. I turned off my phone, poured the last of the tea, and slept deeply. For the first time in years, I wasn't maintaining anything. I was done cleaning up other people's messes.